Hello, welcome back to Real Retro. Today we're not having one of the usual rewind episodes, but it's more of a progress update on the BBC Micro, which if you tuned in over the last couple of weeks you'll know did not quite perform as well as we needed it to. There were pops and crackles, there was smoke, and there was a very, very panicky Jake. So I've spent the last week or so working through some of the issues that this machine has and trying to get it up and running again. I need to give special thanks to the what was it? The Acorn Computer and BBC Micro Enthusiast group on Facebook. They've been incredibly helpful in narrowing down exactly what it is that's going on this machine. So let's switch over to the other camera, which should, there we are, give us a picture of the external memory board, the external add-on ROM board, which contains a number of chips which contain programs. So instead of loading them off disk or CD or hard disk, they're contained on these chips. So we've got I believe a spreadsheet there, some sort of a word processor, a whole variety of different programs all preloaded onto memory there. This had to come off while I was doing the repairs to the power supply, and I can't get it back on again, but I'm not going to be using those programs anyway, so it's not really a major problem. So I got the machine up and running. I was able to type commands into it, try to load things off disk for about an hour or so. I just couldn't get any response out of the machine at all. I did my best, but the disk drives just ignored me. And then after a while I got to thinking, well, I haven't actually tested the power supply, so let's check that. And sure enough, we've got this component here is absolutely had it. Look, that's not even connected to the board anymore. So that power supply is currently about much use as a chocolate fireguard. I turned my attention to the discs, the disk drives, and it turns out that these are reasonably standard pieces of kit that you would have found in a variety of computers of the era, including some PCs. So it's got a standard connector here that you would find in a PC, which means I'm able to use our PC as a stand-in temporary power supply for them. So I was able to actually get some programs to load off disk. In the machine itself here we've got more of the ROM chips, and we've got here this one I believe is for this memory expansion board here. This green one is the software that allows it to access the disk drive, and basically it's just about up and running. It's still running off the old RF feed like an old-fashioned TV, rather than running off a composite video feed, but for testing purposes that will do quite nicely. So I'm just going to turn the TV on and we'll take a look. We'll take a look at what it's actually doing. Now this is actually my third attempt at making this video due to my own technical issues, and every time I've attempted to do this so far it's been a different result, and I'm sure that's half the problem. I'm sure that we've got something going on here. It should be consistent. So if I try, let's turn this camera around a little bit, because each time I've recorded this it's got knocked and moved and it's not great. But if I try to load Paintbox, it appears to load just fine. The disk drive sounds perfectly healthy, there's no funny noises there, it doesn't sound like it's struggling. I can attempt to run it, and now it's printed across the middle of the screen, Paintbox, right over all the text. Load picture, run from file. Doesn't matter what I type now, it's crashed. So I can restart the machine. And we'll try and load Star Trek. Run that. Please wait a few seconds. That's all it does. I've never got it to go any further than that. I can touch keys. Nothing. We can now try Pontoon. And it just gives us a blank screen. Hasn't crashed as such, it hasn't brought an error message up, but it's just doing nothing. I'm trying to remember which one it was oh, hang on. Load. There's one of them that has been bringing up an error message that I want to show off, really. Okay, new game is return. Other controls are ON joystick. Or on joystick. So I can't get this to do anything more, although yesterday I did get it to load up a game screen, but it's not doing that today for some reason. Start load dice. Run. Mistake at line 70, bad program. And then if I try to list 70, bad program. It won't even let me list the code. And I'm seeing a lot of these where it's displaying syntax errors and complaining that the code isn't correct, but I can't accept that every single game that's been stored on these disks has got programming errors in them. Some of them must have worked at some point. The drives seem to be fine, the disks seem to be fine. I'm wondering if there's some sort of a bad connection somewhere on the machine, or a corrupt memory chip or something like that. Be very interested to hear your comments on that. If you've got any experience with these at all, just leave us a comment, let me know what you think about it, because we're so close to getting this up and running now, and it's just frustrating to get stopped at the final hurdle. So usual rules apply. You can leave a comment, you can like, you can subscribe. We'd love it if you visited patreon.com/realretro42 and left us a little bit of appreciation there, because any help we can get in running this channel really does help us out a lot. It is very difficult coming up with more and more and more platforms and games to just keep everything fresh and new all the time. So we'd love it if you could just pay us a visit over there. I'll be back next week with Jake and probably Thomas as well, when we'll be playing something that almost certainly won't be on the BBC, not just yet. But tune back in next week, and maybe we'll see what we can come up with.